kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
And then there were 8. 3 races left to test your fate.
Drag race to the stripe! What a finish.
For some of you, a clean slate. For the rest of you, you're too late.
Uncontested race for Ryan Truex. Leads all but one lap here tonight at Darlington to take the race win.
So drive with hate. Don't take the bait. This is ThunderClap. Who gets the championship date?
After a hectic race and finish last week at the Charlotte Motor Speedway to open up the round of 8 for the season, we come to the middle race in the round of 8, and the final time will be in the Xfinity cars this season here for the Eagle'sWood 235 from Pocono Raceway. Good evening, everybody. My name is Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening. Alongside me, as always, my broadcast partner, Tony Trapasso. Tony, you were there for a wild race last week. I was watching. That's something that could possibly carry over into this week, but a great job by Scott Formosa to get his first win. However, unfortunately, coming just a week too late.
Yeah, I touched on it last week. That was a giant middle finger
to the rest of the league going, okay, you want to eliminate me from the playoffs? Guess what? I'm just going to go on a rampage and steal every victory I can from here moving forward. And some questionable calls. There were strong words in the garage area after the event, but everybody seems to have gotten calmed down and pointed back in the right direction. So are we going to see receipts given? Probably not here. Chances are it's going to be next week that we got to worry about those.
Next week, or even the championship race at Texas in 2 weeks' time. Coming into, as Tony mentioned, the championship, Ryan Truex currently leading by 11 points over Thomas Aaron. Roger DeBold is in third place, but the bubble spot is what is most interesting. Mark McCrary sitting at 5,053 points. Greg Maconi just 1 point off. Steven Shariq right there as well, just 3 points off. A lot of moving and shaking can be done around the bubble spot here tonight at Pocono.
Yeah, I mean, you're still not that far off from Greg Vial and Ryan Zunk. Both those drivers are still mathematically still in contention to make it to the championship round of 4. They just need to not get caught in someone else's dumpster fire tonight, and they just need to, keep their wits about them and not overdrive their own race car. Because, Frank, you know as well as I do, with the solid rear axle, that tunnel turn is going to be very treacherous tonight, and especially on old tires if we do get a long green flag run.
Yep, absolutely. And one of the things that is going to make this championship fight a little bit more difficult, especially for the two guys that you had mentioned at the bottom of the pile right now, Greg Vial and Ryan Zunk, is the fact that we are set up to see our shortest field of the season here tonight. As of right now, there's only 19 drivers in the session. That is the first time we've dipped under 20 all season long. First time since the Bristol Dirt Race, which had the lowest attendance at 25. So it's a very specialty car at a specialty racetrack, not bringing out the numbers here. But however, all the championship drivers are here.
They are at that because they know just how important every point moving forward is. And even if you do happen to get eliminated, you're still racing for best of the rest. So whoever finishes 5th after Texas, whoever comes home in 5th place in points, they are going to get free entry into next season. And that's really what the rest of these guys are racing for. Even if you are eliminated at this point, even if you're already eliminated, you're still racing to gather as many points as you can and try to, get free entry into next season. And I think I really got to tip my cap to the league management here for coming up with that idea, because, we see it time and time again with fields that, okay, well, they're in the playoffs. I have no shot at it. I'm not showing up anymore.
Yep,
they're doing something. They're putting an incentive out there for the guys that aren't going to be racing for the actual championship anymore to still come out, participate, and try to win a race.
And as of right now, the man that's currently sitting at the top of the best for the rest is last week's winner, Scott Formosa, who is not out on track right now. 7th quickest overall thus far. Vince Burns jumping into the session here, out on track for the first time at the death of the session. Will make 20 drivers here tonight, so we'll stay above that 20 plateau, but still the lowest turnout for a race thus far this season, as we're getting set to jump over into the qualifying session here at Pocono, and we'll be interested to see who is going to be the first driver out onto the racetrack. A little bit longer of a racetrack, meaning 10 minutes of qualifying. We've got Roger DeBold, Steven Liszczynski, Steven Shariq, Ryan Truex, and Cole Gajdorus all out on pit road. Right now, Cole Gajdorus would appear to be the first one who is going to look to set a time here tonight.
Yeah, he was definitely the first one to drop the hammer.
Almost dropped it a little bit too hard there going through turn 1.
I see this. Cold tires, and that's something we've seen time and time again over the past couple of weeks, Frank. Since this new tire model has come out, especially in the Xfinity car, the B car, if you will, in iRacing that we're running tonight, cold tires, you might just as well be driving on ice until you get those temperatures. It takes about 2 to 3 laps to really get the car under you, as he's skating through 3 as well. Good grief.
And that's why
Go ahead.
That's why we call it a specialty car, because this is a car that is very wild, very uncontrollable on the fresh tires. Not so much than the A car, but this car tightens up in a hurry, and when it does, you are going to have to really be patient with this car in order to get the speed out of it on these longer runs.
You absolutely are, but the other thing you got to keep in mind too, with as sketchy as this car is on cold tires, when you're trying to lay the power down, coming out of 1, coming out of 3, it's going to be so easy tonight to burn the right rear off the car that by the time you do get to the end of a long green flag run, it's not just your right front that's being punished. You have no grip in the rear. Good luck trying to lay the throttle in.
A couple of other notes about this racetrack, especially over the last couple of updates, as we see the 89 of Cole Gajdorus getting set to finish his first lap. He will set the benchmark with a 54.56. He will stay ahead of Roger DeBold for the moment, but not ahead of Ryan Truex, who does a 54.37 on his first lap. But this racetrack, with the last couple of aero updates and tire updates that iRacing has gotten, this track has gotten increasingly harder and harder and harder to pass at, especially on the outside line. So if you're going to make a move here tonight, you need to be, 1, committed, and 2, have it set up a couple of laps in advance.
Absolutely. And in Pocono, more and more as iRacing has progressed, it's become more of a chess match than anything else. It's a chess match at almost 200 miles an hour. And I used to try to explain that to, friends of mine when I was growing up in my younger days. They're like, well, what's so interesting about racing? It's a chess match at 200 miles an hour. Well, no, it's not. Okay, it's not. Why do you like football so much? Because it's a chess match. Then don't ever talk to me again.
Ryan Truex takes the pole at a 54.33. We'll see what Thomas Aaron can do. He was able to surpass him on the first lap, and this time around he will not be able to do so. A little bit slower on the second lap this time around. Another one of the championship hopefuls, Ryan Zunk, 6th quickest on his first lap in that Busch number 23. We just saw that car win a race last Friday night.
Yes, we did.
Granted, it wasn't in this condition. It was certainly upside down when it won.
Yeah, no, that was an interesting race Friday night here on Sim Racing Media.
So good juju probably for that 23 is coming across the line.
The only thing that finish was missing, he won the race upside down backwards. The only thing that was missing was being on fire.
Yeah, pretty much. He was getting pushed as well. Zunk betters his time, but not his position. Robert Walton completes his second lap. He was the slowest of drivers who took time. Again, will better his time, but not better his position. Mark McCrary right now on lap number 1, coming to complete that. Tyler Chalk on track as well. He's halfway through lap number 2, 9th quickest on his first. McCrary jumps up to 11th on his first. See Tyler Chalk coming through the tunnel turn now in that Tax Slayer number 31. A little bit of a blink there for the 31 of Chalk.
A little bit, but I'm right now watching the Ford Mustang of Greg Maconi. It looks like he's kind of tiptoeing on this first flyer, trying to get some heat into those tires without over abusing them. There we go. That's a little bit better. Now he's up to pace, coming through 3. Sideways, though. He was pushing that one.
And Maconi was the slowest of the drivers who took time in practice. Here comes McCrary to complete his second lap. And McCrary will jump up to 8th. Anthony Burleyson at the end of his first lap goes to 10th.
Wow.
And a
J.D. Woodward.
Big time by J.D. Woodward, a 54.31. Jumps to pole on his first lap.
He really cranked one off there. As going back to Maconi, 16th quick on his first lap. Dirt track, and oh, did he? Please tell me he didn't just hit the wall.
He might have done. Maconi 16th after the first lap, 55.19.
He's not going to be happy with this one.
I don't think so.
Yep, he did. It negated the second sector for him.
Just barely taps the fence. Anthony Burleyson completing his second lap. And Burleyson will stay 9th.
Vince Burns, Tommy Allen Jr., and Chase Leahy all have not attempted a single lap yet. Steven Shariq had his one and only lap attempt negated, and unfortunately, we are quickly running out of time in this qualifying session. So if anybody wants to lay a time, they better get out there and start hustling it now.
Yeah, Vince Burns, as Tony, you had mentioned, Vince Burns, Tommy Allen Jr., and Chase Leahy. Leahy was pretty quick during the practice session, so he would have a pretty decent chance. You're only going to get one lap in, but with what we've seen through most of this qualifying session, the first lap is really all you need.
Yeah, pretty much. It seems like the tire fall off is huge already. A lot of it has to do probably with the weather conditions right now, Frank, in the greater Pocono area. It's definitely not the most adverse conditions we've raced under this season, but it's definitely not going to make things easy here tonight in the Xfinity car.
But as we usually do, we'll take a look at the weather conditions during the pace lap here tonight, as we got about 1 minute and 45 seconds, which I think is not enough for anyone who wants to go out on a warm-up lap and then get going. So what we'll do is we'll break off of qualifying a little bit early, and we will send it to Terry Adams for tonight's national anthem. Thank you very much to Terry Adams, as he does every single week, for providing the national anthem for us. One note for tonight's race. The Eagle'sWood 235 is brought to you by Eagle'sWood Creations. Let Eagle'sWood Creations create the moments. Simple, affordable, and memorable custom engraved items of all kinds, from wood to acrylic to leather, and much, much more. Eagle'sWood Creations is currently showcasing some amazing holiday items such as door hangers, ornaments, and tabletop decor to make all of your friends and family jealous when they see these one-of-a-kind items in your home this holiday season. But that's not all. Eagle'sWood Creations has an unlimited amount of custom options for your custom engraving needs. Visit them today at Eagle'sWoodCreations.com and be sure to also give them a follow on Facebook. And with that, one of the proprietors of the website is none other than the head admin for the series, Justin Clapper. Justin, can you tell us a little bit more about Eagle'sWood Creations and what they can provide for you?
Absolutely. This is a company that my mother started up out of West Creek, New Jersey. But don't let the location fool you. They can ship to anywhere that you need your items. So no matter where you're at, if you have some cool engraving ideas, or if you see something on their website, make sure you follow them on their Facebook page and give them a look. And they'll have any custom idea. And they already have some pre-made items on there. I saw an item today, actually, a very, very cool custom-made hunting dog, a plaque, I believe it was. And it is an incredible design and a lot of really, really cool items. So make sure to check them out at Eagle_S Wood on Facebook. All one word is the Eagle'sWood. And check them out on the website at Eagle'sWoodCreations.com.
Now, how long is normal, like a standard delivery, and where do you ship to?
Oh, well, she can ship to anywhere in the world, and right now it all based on the product that you want. Obviously, with the way things are in modern times and getting stuff that you need, like whether it be parts or materials, is the biggest issue right now. But I'd say, I mean, I had an item custom made, and it only took a few days after the material came in. So if she's stocked in that material, and she's available, her phone number is on the Facebook page. You can shoot her a message on there, or you can shoot her a text, phone call, and have your arrangements made and get it within reasonable time.
I know Tony and I have been looking at some of the stuff on the website here recently, and the
Beautiful
stuff looks,
designs.
Yep, absolutely phenomenal. So once again, that is Eagle'sWoodCreations.com. You can also search them on Facebook as well, Eagle'sWood Creations. Justin, thank you very much for helping us out here, and good luck the rest of the way tonight.
Yes, sir. Hopefully we can keep it in one piece here tonight and put ourselves in position like we were last week.
All right. Justin Clapper, the head admin for the series, as well as the son of the proprietor for the Eagle'sWood Creations.
Hi, Mom.
Yep, there you go. Looking through here in the warm-up session right now. We've got just a minute to go here in the warm-up session, a little bit less than a minute. There is Scott Formosa, last week's winner at Charlotte. Tire strategy working very well for that 80 last week. 7th quickest on the board right now, but again, a warm-up session, you're only going to get about a lap and a half in here. Pretty much just a little bit shorter than a qualifying session.
It is, and the only thing the guys are doing right now is they're just dialing in their brake bias and steering ratios to suit them best, because it's easier to get it dialed now than it is to wait until the race.
Make sure you get the line right as well. Find your braking points one last time before we get going, which we will do here in a matter of just a couple of seconds here before we flip on over into the racing session. And once that happens, we will do as we usually do, which is go to the grid. Any second now, these cars should disappear. Boom, there they go.
We go.
And up onto the screen right about now is when the grid will appear. J.D. Woodward takes the pole here tonight with a 54.312. Joining him on the front row, the points leader at the moment, Ryan Truex. Row number 2 will be Thomas Aaron and Tyler Truex. Cole Gajdorus and Scott Formosa will make up row number 3. Matt Garrett and Ryan Zunk in row 4. Anthony Burleyson and Mark McCrary make up row number 5 and the top half of the grid here tonight.
Roger DeBold and Tyler Chalk going to roll it from row number 6. Row 7 is going to see Greg Vial and Justin Clapper. Greg Maconi and Stephen Lachinsky in row number 8. Robert Walton and Vince Burns in row 9. Tommy Allen Jr. and Stephen Shariq in row 10. And starting shotgun on the field, all by his lonesome back there, is going to be the 21 of Chase Leahy.
And Vince Burns,
That's not his number.
34. Vince Burns, Tommy Allen Jr., Stephen Shariq, and Chase Leahy, all starting via their iRating after not setting a time in this qualifying session. To the weather we go, as I had mentioned before. Just past 4 o'clock p.m. in sim time. Wind blowing directly to the north, rather negligible. 73-degree ambient temperature, 95-degree track temperature. Tony, pretty much just as you said, it's not the worst we've seen this season, but certainly not favorable.
Absolutely not. And, you know, it's a great late summer day, actually first day of autumn now in the Pocono Mountains. I can't think of a better way to spend the fall equinox than here at Pocono, ready to race some cars. As you know, we do have to mention that these cars still have that solid rear axle or live rear axle in these cars, not the independent rear suspension like we see on the next gen. And where they're coming through right now, there's 2 bumps. There's a good bump on the low side on entry and on the top side on exit that you really have to be careful of, because the one on entry is going to shove you into the outside lane. The outside bump on exit is going to shove you into the safer barrier.
So it is going to be a very it makes it a difficult corner, a more difficult corner than it usually is here at this racetrack. But Tony, as we head through turn number 3, time to get us going.
The only thing I'd love to say is it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab some whoopie pies, because it's time to get it on in Pennsylvania. Race fans, it's show time.
Coming out of turn number 3, under pace, under control. Now we turn them loose. 94 laps here at Pocono, and a very good start by Ryan Truex, getting a little bit of a jump on J.D. Woodward going into turn 1, but Woodward with the line. Truex throws it in deep. Truex takes the race lead.
As Ryan takes the lead, Tyler was tiptoeing through there. They're 3 wide behind him for 4th.
Yep, track fanning out already. Mark McCrary towards the middle of that group, going into the tunnel turn for the first time. Truex looks good. So does Woodward and Tyler Truex. The 93 of Thomas Aaron, he got really loose coming off of turn 1. He's already fallen back out of the top 5 after his 3rd place starting spot.
A lot of these guys are kind of tiptoeing right now in the early going because they know that cold tires can be the death knell tonight. You can't win it on the first lap, but you sure as heck can lose it there. And a lot of these guys just tiptoeing right now, not making some dive bomb moves, not making anything crazy happen yet. Although, just as I say that, Greg Maconi and Tyler Chalk going after each other.
Tyler Truex looking for that 2nd spot under J.D. Woodward as well. Woodward almost catches the wall. Cole Gajdorus in the 89 does. Still fanning out towards the middle of the pack. That's right around the 10th spot. Anthony Burleyson, Roger DeBold, Greg Maconi starting to work his way up through the field as well.
And the thing that we've seen the past couple of weeks, DeBold and Maconi have been working very well with each other, as far as drafting partners, as far as communication for pit stops and so on. So look for both of them to work together to get towards the front and try to advance to the championship round of 4 at Texas in 2 weeks.
On board with Greg Maconi. As he sits behind Anthony Burleyson, now goes to the outside of Anthony Burleyson going down into turn 1. Burleyson loses the spot side by side up a little bit further ahead. That is Scott Formosa to the inside of the 3 of Matt Garrett.
Yeah, Garrett caught up in a lot of issues not of his own doing last week, looking to rebound this week here at the Tricky Triangle. But if Thomas Aaron has anything to say about it, he's definitely going to say it and say it loud, as right now only, I believe, 2 chase contenders in the top 5.
Top 3 have broken away just a little bit. There you see the battle from 4th on down to Mark McCrary. Top 3 have broken away to the tune of about a second and a half, as Cole Gajdorus now losing the drafting ability. As Thomas Aaron looks to the inside, so does Matt Garrett. And with the way this track has run recently, Gajdorus can kiss that line goodbye.
Well, he's going to get a little help coming down the Long Pond Straight there, as the three of Garrett's going to jump up there. But it's a drag race with Thomas Aaron, and you definitely don't want to be doing this too often, especially on older tires. Right now, they've got a little heat into them. They've still got some good grip to them, but in about 5 laps, you're not going to be wanting to go to side-by-side through that tunnel turn at all.
Justin Clapper right now currently sitting about 5.5 seconds off of the lead group. Doesn't appear as though anything negative has happened to that car. It still looks just as clean as it did when it started. One driver that did not start this race, however, Chase Leahy, still has not taken to the racetrack after missing the grid. Matt Garrett jumps up into the 5th spot now around Gajdorus in the 89.
Going to take a quick look here and see if, Leahy's not in the session at all.
So Leahy might have, was that a throughput or a?
I don't see where it was a throughput.
So manual disconnection for Chase Leahy, which again, very surprising, seeing as though Leahy was actually pretty quick during the practice session. He was in the top half of the field, even when the field was down to what we were expecting to be around 17.
Yeah. He had a strong car, but just not overclocking it right now. But throw a blanket over your top 3, Frank, as Ryan Truex, J.D. Woodward, and Tyler Truex, 2nd and a quarter to the good over that battle for 4th, with Thomas Aaron, Matt Garrett, Cole Gajdorus, Scott Formosa, Ryan Zunk, Mark McCrary, Roger DeBold, all right there.
Yep, a lot of lines going on here, and that's kind of what you would expect around this most recent version of Pocono. It is so difficult to get a pass done here, and you need drafting help. And right now, J.D. Woodward knows what's better for him. I'm sure he wants the lead, but something's telling me the 69 is going to stay behind the 56. I don't know what's giving me that inclination, but I have a feeling if J.D. tries to make a move, it's not going to work out well for him.
It absolutely is not at this point, as he is in a Truex sandwich. And we've seen it before that Tyler and Ryan, if they can get hooked up nose to tail, forget it. You're not catching them.
Scott Formosa to the inside of the 89. Can't get the run complete because he doesn't have the draft. And that's going to be a big, big talking point here tonight, all night long, is your ability to be able to make a pass with the draft. That's why we said during the Open, you're going to need to set up your moves about a couple of laps in advance.
Well, lucky for him, the cavalry is coming in the form of the 88 of Mark McCrary. The 2 teammates there trying to get something happening for, the 2 Speed Kings drivers looking to get hooked up here. Couple car separations still, but, that's another group that if they get hooked up together, good luck staying with them.
Greg Maconi sees his target in front of him as that 88 of Mark McCrary is who he is racing. Coming in again just a point behind Mark McCrary in the championship is that number 12 on the outside of the cutoff looking in, as Cole Gajdorus continues to move backwards. Now McCrary gets sent up to the outside line as well. Now McCrary and Maconi battling side by side at the back of this group now.
Maconi and DeBold were hooked up a little bit as DeBold looks to the outside, now drops down in front of again, unofficial teammate. They are working together. They are in the same Discord server together, but not an official team yet.
Find someone to work with you. That's Steven Shariq in the 83, another championship hopeful, taking a big, wide entry going into turn one, trying to straighten out the exit as much as he possibly can. You see right at the bottom of the screen there, Ryan Truex trying to break the draft a little bit. Right at the front of the screen is Tyler Truex now jumps to the inside. That sends J.D. Woodward well wide going through turn one. Ryan Truex P1, Tyler Truex P2.
Yeah, as Woodward wisely gave plenty of room, knows there's a lot of racing left, doesn't want to do anything crazy and put the car into a bad situation, like we saw him do a couple weeks ago at Darlington, that really cost him a shot at going on to this round of 8.
Battle going on in the midfield right now. Still Cole Gajdorus trying to hold on to what positions he can as Roger DeBold looks to the inside. McConey looking to the inside of Steven Shariq as well. McCrary hanging back behind those guys. Halfway through the first stage here in this race, 94 laps to race completion. Laps 20 and 40 will be the 2 stage breaks.
And we're starting to get into that point right now in this current tire run that you're going to have to start getting your elbows up and really manhandle these cars because, 10 laps in at 180 miles an hour around most of this track, you pretty much have worn all of the goodie off the right front tire at this point, and you're just hoping this car stays on. And as you mentioned, this car starts extremely loose, almost stupid loose, on cold tires, and then tightens up in a heartbeat.
And once it gets tight, you have to really baby this car to get around. You have to be very, very conservative with how hard you push through these corners. Greg Maconi now getting through beyond Steven Shariq. Cole Gajdorus with absolutely no drafting help down on the bottom. Looks like he may have also caught the wall. A little bit of a crinkle in the right front of that car. If we jump on board, there he is. Yep, right front crinkle.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, watch out, Shariq as well, getting loose in front of him.
That was definitely a pucker moment. And he's going to lose spots because of it.
Yep, and that's Greg Vielle going through. First time we've really mentioned Greg Vielle thus far in this race. Everyone pushing up. Watch the exit of turn 2. That'll open the door for Steven Lechinski to try to make a move on the 89 now.
It will at that. And, Lechinski has had some success in this league, in this car. Hasn't quite won a race yet, but wow, flirting with disaster on the front chute is Lechinski. And in case you folks are wondering why that says Monster Jam on that car, it's because Steven is one of the mechanics that travels around with Monster Jam. That's his day job. He works on monster trucks.
And why not?
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to know where this was when I was going to career day back in high school.
It certainly would have been towards the top of the, I could see myself doing this list.
Oh, absolutely.
Battle for the lead was a trio. It's now turned into a quartet. Ryan and Tyler Truex, 1 and 2. J.D. Woodward still at the back of this group, but Thomas Aaron has caught up and has left Matt Garrett behind. So now the top 4 all separated by a little bit less than half a second. Matt Garrett in the middle running in 5th. Scott Formosa there as well. A little bit further back through the field, that's the continued fall of Cole Gajdorus. Now Tyler Chalk looking for him, and look at the right rear of that car as well. That 89, has seen the wall more than once, I feel.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of, something's happened with Mark McCrary as well. That might explain the damage on the back end of the 89.
That would definitely explain it.
That car wasn't like that the last time we saw it, to say the least.
No, it wasn't. And that's definitely going to make things a lot more difficult here tonight for that Speed Kings entry. And it's something that we hear, Justin White up in the race control tower say to these drivers every week coming into the drivers meeting. You're responsible for 3 things in your car: the gas pedal, the brake pedal, and the front bumper.
Sometimes the back bumper as well, depending upon how hot and heavy you want to get with it. Right now, Mark McCrary, the lowest running of the playoff drivers. Greg Vielle, Steven Shariq, and Greg Maconi. The lower 4. The upper 4, Ryan Truex, Thomas Aaron, Ryan Zunk, and Roger DeBold.
And the other thing too, Frank, to take into consideration is, when you take a look at the schedule that these guys are having to run, and getting into, nobody wants to be going into Nashville next week needing to win. And that's unfortunately what we're seeing here tonight, is a lot of these guys are opening that can of worms already, that you don't want to be in that situation. You just want to have a good, strong run here and go into next week just knowing that that's all you're going to need to transfer into the championship round of 4 at Texas in 2 weeks.
Blink there from Steven Shariq in the 83. Just 5 laps to go here at the end of the stage, as Ryan Truex now starting to pull a little bit of a lead, as Tyler Truex has fallen all the way back to 4th here, at least for the moment, battling for 3rd with Thomas Aaron. And just able to lean on that 93 car a little bit, but not enough. Thomas Aaron gets the run off the corner, and Aaron will take the position away. This is how J.D. Woodward got around Tyler Truex. Through the tunnel turn. No contact, but certainly came close. Thomas Aaron.
He was definitely leaning on him.
Thomas Aaron doing what he can to get as high up as he can. Trying not to let Ryan Truex get too far away. Prior to the end of the stage, a little bit further back, Greg Maconi, Steven Shariq battling side by side. Shariq looking for 1 spot, possibly 2. He's got the 1. Looking on DeBold for the 2nd. Maconi's going to give DeBold a little bit of help, but a big swing for Steven Shariq, goes from 6th of the playoff drivers to 4th.
Big championship implications with just that trio of cars. All 3 of them looking, again, to punch their ticket into the championship round of 4. With the short field here tonight, all that's going to do is really tighten up the battle going into next week at Nashville. Being as you're pretty much guaranteed 17th, 20th. Yep. You're guaranteed to come out of here with at least 20th place points.
Ryan Zunk also a part of that championship fight, as Steven Shariq has found something here in the latter stages of this stage. Shariq coming in 3 points south of the cutoff line. Ryan Zunk inching closer and closer to must win for him, running in 7th. Get as many of the stage points as you can possibly muster right now, is Zunk looking a little bit more worse for wear than Steven Shariq is at the moment.
Yeah, he is at that. Apparently just burned the right front tire off, because you see that car not wanting to initiate the turn in. A little bit of a tail wag coming off of 3, which means that he's putting a little more having to put more wheel into the steering input than he would really like to, and because of that, that car's snapping loose when he tries to lay the throttle in.
Roger DeBold right there as well. Coming down to the final lap or so of this stage, Ryan Truex currently out in front by 1.6 seconds. Shariq looking to the inside of Zunk. Got a great run coming out of turn 1 through the tunnel turn. Zunk pushes on exit. Steven Shariq up into the 7th spot. He's not quite clear just yet. Greg Maconi finding his way through. Now the 83 does get clear. That allows the 38 to get under the 23. All of these guys, again, racing for as many playoff points as they can.
They are at that as the white flag in the air for the stage. Working lap 20 right now as DeBold to the inside. DeBold to the inside of Zunk. Zunk now goes wide through 1. This is going to be an interesting drag race down the Long Pond straightaway. Which side is DeBold going to go on as Zunk almost gets into Maconi?
It got into the wall, and now Zunk, who was looking at a good 3 to 4 points out of this stage, might lose it altogether as here comes Maconi around Roger DeBold. Maconi will take over the 8th spot. Greg Vielle right there as well, another one of the championship contenders. However,
DeBold pushing on the 12.
Yeah, but Zunk really pushing on the 38. Coming out of turn 4, Ryan Truex, the points leader coming into this race, will take the Stage 1 victory. J.D. Woodward second, Thomas Aaron third.
Tyler Truex, Matt Garrett, Scott Formosa, Steven Shariq, Greg Maconi, Roger DeBold, and Ryan Zunk getting the final points for the stage. And all important bonus points right now with the 2 stages tonight. That really opens things up. And you know, the fact that Maconi was able to get a 2-for-1 there on the white flag lap coming into the stage caution, that tells me that he's learning how to conserve his tires, or he has learned how to conserve his tires, especially with this package on the car tonight.
Also a big run for Steven Shariq as well. We saw the double overtake going into turn 1 earlier on, was able to catch Ryan Zunk and pass him when he needed to. Ryan Truex, though, winner of the first stage. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching the Eagle'sWood Creations 235 from Pocono. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hey, are you tired of your dog dragging in mud into your house? You got water laying in your yard? There's going to be a lot more water laying this spring. Now's the time to give us a call here at the office at 410-721-2342, and we'll be glad to take care of all your outdoor drainage needs.
Oh, you are not, you're not alone, no. Oh, you are not, you're not alone. You are not, you're not alone.
Thanks again, guys, for coming out for demo day here at Chaladon and just going over hip start and how it's going to improve your swing. Hip start is really a key factor in getting that proper downswing. The beauty of hip start is you can change your swing in less than an hour. Just put hip start on and you're going to notice a difference right away.
So before I was introduced to the hip start, my shots were kind of all over the place. Using the hip start, I definitely noticed more consistency and getting that great tactile feedback, knowing when the proper moment to snap your hits has really helped with getting my shot a lot more consistent. And I just feel more confident whenever I go out to the golf course with my friends.
Before you even grab a club out of your bag, we're using hip start to warm up. Put it on and get that feel and just fire the hips. Make sure that hip's turning and make sure hips firing through with hip start.
I'm able to hit the ball a lot straighter and a lot farther, and more importantly, consistently hit the ball. What I've seen today, I personally live by and swear by the hip start.
Tonight's race number 2 of the round of 8 is brought to you by Eagle'sWood Creations. For all your custom engraving needs, visit Eagle'sWoodCreations.com and see what creation can be made for you. Ryan Truex, the winner of stage number 1, also the winner of the race off of pit road. Roger DeBold, Greg Maconi coming out in the top 3 positions, so that shuffles up the field a little bit. So playoff drivers right now running in the top 5 positions with Thomas Aaron and Ryan Sunk, in the top 4 positions with Thomas Aaron running in 4th. Ryan Sunk will line up in 6th.
This is the field working its way out of the short chute between 2 and 3. TLC Restart Zone going to be in effect tonight. You'll see the markings on the inside wall right when pit road actually, the wall for pit road starts. You'll see the markings on the inside of the track as Truex has to maintain pace speed, cannot pull the trigger until he gets into that zone. As the pace car getting ready to make that hard left turn to head down pit road. There it goes, and here we go as Truex brings them into the TLC Restart Zone.
Flag back out. Greg Maconi was all over Ryan Truex, but Truex gets one heck of a start, leaving both Maconi and DeBold to fight amongst each other. And in doing that, a big wiggle out of Roger DeBold moves Thomas Aaron all the way to the inside. Aaron looking for a twofer coming out of turn 1 here.
Here's at that, and a couple of things to make note of. Maconi and DeBold both electing to take 2 tires only under that stage break, and that might come back to bite them later on, as they've only got 4 total sets to get them through tonight, and you'd never want to just put lefts on. That's just,
I think with the pace that they're running right now, I would have to say it was only rights, meaning that left side wear not all that significant. Otherwise, I don't think they would have tried it. But here's one of the big calling cards of Pocono, fanning out down the straightaway and then trying to funnel back into line, going into the first turn. Maconi way deep going into turn 1. Look at Ryan Sunk trying to slice his way through in the 23. Sideways goes the 38, and around they both go. Caution is out. DeBold and Vielle.
oh my goodness.
2 playoff contenders with damage early. Take a look and see what happened. You could just barely start to see Roger DeBold wiggling coming out of turn 1. as Vielle tries to sneak in there. Oh, a little bit of contact between the 26 and the 38, and those are two very hard hits.
Yeah, those absolutely were. And you can see just the amount of damage on the nose of Vielle's. Well, that was a Chevy Camaro, but can't tell right now.
See this going through one. You see Vielle try to shoot the gap. 63 was there, kind of spooked him back up the line. And
I don't think he realized that Clapper was there. You know, that was just one of those racing deals where everybody was going for the same hole. And, you know, as I like to say, it's a simple physics lesson. Two solid objects cannot occupy the same moment of the space-time continuum. And, oh, yeah, that was...
Saw off the back of DeBold. Now, as far as the championship is concerned, Roger DeBold was 14 points ahead of the cut line, or was 13 points ahead of the cut line, I should say. Greg Vielle was a good 14 points off of it. So those are big championship implications for both of those drivers. This could leave DeBold on the outside looking in, and Vielle certainly in a must-win situation as J.D. Woodward leads the field down pit road. Justin Clapper behind him. Also noted the damage on the front end of Justin Clapper there in that 63. There was also some damage on the back of Greg Vielle, probably getting into each other on the lap prior.
Well, I mean, that would explain the damage, but also you got to figure that when Vielle got into DeBold, Clapper was right there, and that's kind of what sent Vielle around.
There was more side-to-side contact, though. I wouldn't have.
Right. But as he spun across the nose, you know, that'll do that.
Steven Leszczynski second off of pit road as both he and Walton decide to just fill it up. J.D. Woodward filling up and a little bit of damage repair as well. There's some crinkles to the nose of that 47 as well. Clapper damage repair. Roger DeBold and Greg Vielle, of course, damage repair as well. Tommy Allen Jr. coming out of pit road. So under incident caution for the first time tonight here at Pocono. And what has been a very solid race to this stage. Watch out. Formosa runs us over.
Oh, yeah. Remind me to give that cameraman hazard pay.
Mounted cameras for a reason, some would say.
And apparently they're reviewing that one with Roger, because I'm looking in the Discord server, Frank, and the man in the stand with the binoculars in his hands is now in the channel with DeBold and McConey.
Might be an explanation of a penalty or possibly a warning, because it didn't look like DeBold did much wrong. The 26 saw a gap, and I didn't realize, I guess, that the 63 was going to be that close. That appeared to be just a racing incident.
That's what it looked like to me too. But can't dwell on it. Can't dwell on it for too long, as the lights have gone out on the Ford Mustang GT500 pace car.
Yes, they have. We will have 11 laps of racing left to go here in this stage before we go under caution again. As as Greg Vielle has decided to bite the bullet. He has stayed in. So has Roger DeBold. DeBold is back out on the racetrack. However, he is 1 lap down. Greg Vielle has stayed in longer. So both of those guys deciding to bite the bullet, repair as much of the car as they possibly can, and worry about making up the laps later.
I can't say I can find fault in that right now, being as it's a short field.
Well, that, and especially for Roger DeBold, who he's out first, and it appears as though Vielle is going to stay in and get put 2 laps down. DeBold knows he's getting a lap back in about 11 laps time as we go back to green flag racing here, starting lap number 30.
It's exactly that, as Truex jumps on the loud pedal and starts to bring Thomas Aaron with him. Is Aaron now under heavy attack from Steven Shariq as they haul it off into turn number 1 side by side. McConey down on the low side working on Scott Formosa, last week's winner, as he's got Ryan Zunk glued to his back bumper.
Greg Maconi and Formosa almost came together on that front straightaway. Zunk jumps up to the outside line, probably knowing McConey's tire situation, side by side between Thomas Aaron and Steven Shariq. Shariq with a big slide out of turn 2, but he's able to hold it, takes that spot. McConey able to hold it on the inside of the 80 as well. 23 of Zunk. I'm not sure if he knows who to go with right now.
I don't think he does. I don't think he's figured it out in his own mind. Yeah, he's going for it now.
Himself.
Yeah. All for one and all for me, as he does wrestle the spot away from McConey. As look at Garrett and Truex working like good teammates together right there on the low side as well.
Steven Shariq right there as well. Shariq losing that 3rd spot. McConey and Tyler Chalk venturing all the way up to the outside of turn 1. Tyler Truex diving way down low to get out from behind the 3 of Matt Garrett, and then swinging right up in front of him with no room. Here comes Justin Clapper looking to the inside of Vince Burns going into the tunnel turn.
Well, Garrett popped it off the wall coming through 1, so that's probably what Truex was doing, was taking evasive action for that. And, yep, there you go. McConey did only take 2 under that previous caution, and it's not working the way he was hoping right now.
J.D. Woodward getting around him as well. So does Cole Gajdorus in the 89. Mark McCrary now looking for a spot on the 3 of Matt Garrett. Anthony Burleyson towards the back as well, looking for 14th position on Tyler Chalk as Chalk goes to the outside of McConey. McConey losing spots left, right, and center here, quite literally, as Burleyson and Chalk both get around him in turn 1.
Yeah, McConey definitely, he was trying something, and unfortunately it didn't pay off the way he was hoping for. But somebody who it is paying off for is that 63 of Justin Clapper and the 55 of Vince Burns. Both those 2 drivers, some of your biggest movers so far, as Burns is +9.
Big dive by J.D. Woodward to take that 10th spot away from Justin Clapper.
And who says you can't pass at Pocono? Take a look at Steven Shariq. Currently runs in 3rd, +17, Frank.
Yeah, he's had himself quite a nice race, and a lot of those positions, though, made up at the end of the tire run. So as other guys' tires are wearing off, his are staying on the car, able to gain some positions that way, lose a little bit at the beginning, wait for everyone else to fall off, and then pick them back off, and hopefully you can advance a little bit in the process.
Well, fingers crossed you can do that anyways.
Sounds good in theory.
Yeah, but Ryan Truex just walking away with this one, as he's almost 2 full seconds to the good over Thomas Aaron. Aaron, Shariq, Formosa, all right there within striking distance of each other, as is Ryan Zunk. Tyler Truex.
Oh, hard into the wall, the 89. Sorry to jump in
yes,
there.
Yes, it was. Him. Go ahead.
Very hard into the turn 3 wall. Gajdorus pushing it just a little bit too hard on corner exit there, and he caught turn 4 big time.
And you can see just how flat the sides of that Toyota Supra are right now. Not going to help his cause at all. We saw him have a good qualifying attempt, did start up towards the front. Unfortunately, this is costing him dearly here in the middle section.
Take a look here. Oh, he's already been in the wall. We'll go a little bit further back. It's going to be about a half a lap back, actually. So this is coming down through the tunnel turn. Tyler Chalk gets around the 89.
He's skating right there through the tunnel turn. You can see just how tail happy that car was.
And he's pushing really hard and has been for the last little while here. Just clips the grass there. And he's going to try to gas it up to try to stay behind Tyler Chalk and just caught the end of that safer barrier.
That was one of the hardest hits not resulting in a caution we have seen all season.
Yeah, that was a big old thwack, as now he's going after Steven Leschinski for 15th spot now between these two. Leschinski in the 99, Gajdorus in the 89. J.D. Woodward just in front. J.D. Woodward might have...
Yeah, I know exactly what you're thinking. I think he did bang the wall somewhere.
He might have caught wall because he's falling back. Cole Gajdorus now does go to the pit lane as one would have expected after a hit like that. Vince Burns a little bit further ahead, side by side with Tyler Chalk.
Major championship implications here tonight just based on pit strategy.
Absolutely.
As, it kind of cost Roger DeBold. Greg Vial was back there as well, as both those drivers are now back out on track. But Maconi, 2 tires definitely not working for him under the last stage caution, as he just continues his backward slide right now. But Scott Formosa trying to get one done on Ryan Zunk, as I'm sorry, that's Steven Shariq. He's trying to reel in Zunk behind him now, as Thomas Aaron trying to figure out what he's got to do to reel in Ryan Truex.
5 of the 8 playoff drivers currently occupy positions in the top 10. 4 of those 5 are in the top 5 positions. Ryan Truex, Thomas Aaron, Steven Shariq, and Ryan Zunk. Those are the 4 highest running playoff drivers. The other 3 are not in the top 5. Greg Maconi, 17th. Roger DeBold, 18th, just past Cole Gajdorus for position on the racetrack. And I believe Cole Gajdorus is actually done for the night. And Greg Vial running in 20th, which will be 18th in a couple of laps as he gets around Cole Gajdorus.
And you are correct, Cole Gajdorus has decided to put it on the hauler.
So that's 1 retirement now and 1 did not start. As Thomas Aaron continues to lead the way here, as Steven Shariq trying to stay as close as he possibly can to that 93 to see if he can make that late stage magic work the same way he did during the first stage.
Well, the thing you got to keep in mind too is Aaron is just leading the peloton right now, as Ryan Truex, it was a 2 1/4 second lead, as Maconi knows he's not going to get stage points, comes in just before pit closes, shouldn't go a lap down here, and is going to have the catbird seat when we do end the stage.
Problem is, though, he is going to go a lap down right now, which means Roger DeBold will still be a lap down by the time stage number 2 kicks off. Maconi out on track. He is there, needing this stage to end as quickly as possible for himself and for Roger DeBold. If those two have been working together the way they have been, Maconi needs to get up and on it now, use a little bit of those tires so he can stay on the lead lap to help DeBold get back onto the lead lap at the stage, and he's trying. You just saw how loose he got out of turn 2.
And I think that was more to put some fear into Truex than anything else. Is, hey man, I'm pushing this thing, I'm hustling it. If you come anywhere near me, cold tires are going to be the death of both of us. And here we go. One more lap to go in the stage. Truex leads the field by about 7 car lengths right now, as Aaron and Shariq still running stem to stern in second and third.
And if you're Ryan Truex, there's really no urgency to pass him, because Aaron and Shariq are more than a second and a half behind. He's not for position. May as well just stick behind him at this point, as we are coming down. Final half a lap to go before we hit the end of this stage. Truex, boy, it's been the last 2 races that I've broadcast both here and Darlington. Truex has not yet lost a stage, and that streak will continue. Coming out of turn number 3, Greg Maconi will stay on the lead lap, but more importantly, Ryan Truex will take the win in stage number 2, going for yet another sweep.
Thomas Aaron, Steven Shariq, Scott Formosa, Ryan Zunk, Tyler Truex, Matt Garrett, Tyler Chalk, Mark McCrary, and Justin Clapper getting the final point for the stage.
Well, in the last race of the season for the Xfinity car, and next week at the Nashville Super Speedway will be in the Cup car. After that will be the championship race at Texas in the Next Gen Cup car. Ryan Truex putting on an absolute clinic here tonight thus far. Thomas Aaron, second place, still just staying right on that 56, as he's done a lot this year. And as these guys come back around, Tony, I think we're going to take a moment here to speak with a guy who has had a lot of good fortune here thus far, as we will bring in the 3rd place finisher in the stage, Steven Shariq. Tony's with him now.
Steven Shariq, who says you can't pass here at Pocono, currently sitting plus 17. How difficult is traffic here tonight?
It's actually, I mean, for me, it hasn't really been that bad, but I'm kind of just like letting the car come to me and letting the track come to me and everything. I'm not really pushing that hard.
Well, if that's not pushing that hard and you're already sitting plus 17, if I was Ryan Truex and Thomas Aaron, I'd be sweating bullets right now knowing that you're going to be restarting right up there with us, and we still have about half the race left.
Yeah, I'm just trying to just get as many points as I can and just try and stay in this championship hunt.
Well, so far so good, as you were coming into tonight on the positive side of the cut line. In a situation where you don't need to win the race, you just need a good, strong finish, both here and next week at Nashville. But you're doing what you can, trying to keep that car as clean as possible, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm just trying to stay out of trouble. That's just the biggest thing, is a lot of these races always come down to attrition and whether or not you can stay out of trouble and not get caught up in something else.
Fair enough, Steven. As you're heading down pit road right now, we're going to let you do this pit stop. Best of luck to you in the final stage.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So that was Steven Shariq, the 3rd place finisher in the stage. And again, as Tony had mentioned, plus 17. As assumed, Greg Maconi stays out under this stage break. So Maconi, for the first time since the opening salvo here tonight, will have 4 fresh tires. And Ryan Truex will once again win the race off of pit road.
Frank, I don't know if you caught it or not, but Tyler Chalk had some problems getting into his pit box.
Did see that. There was one car that appeared to be a little bit too close to the pit wall. Yep.
That was the 31.
You see Greg Fayel on track right now as well. We'll take this moment here while we got it once again to thank our race sponsor here tonight, Eagle'sWood Creations. Let Eagle'sWood Creations create the moments. Simple, affordable, and memorable custom engraved items of all kinds, from wood to acrylic to leather, and much, much more. Eagle'sWood Creations is currently showcasing some amazing holiday items such as door hangers, ornaments, and tabletop decor to make all of your friends and family jealous when you see them, when they see this one-of-a-kind items at your home for the holidays this season. Eagle'sWood Creations has an unlimited amount of custom options for your custom engraving needs. Visit Eagle'sWoodCreations.com today, and also be sure to follow them on Facebook as well. Take a look at the point standings coming into this race one more time, and the playoff implications. Ryan Truex, winner of the first two stages, appears to be home free, at least for the moment, to get into the Championship 4 at Texas in 2 weeks. Thomas Aaron seemingly pretty good as well. Roger DeBold right now currently running in the 18th position after getting into an accident. Mark McCrary with damage on his number 88 up in 7th. Greg Maconi leading thanks to pit strategy. Steven Shariq running in 4th. Greg Vielle running multiple laps down in 19th position. The last car running, Ryan Zunk, in the 23 right now, running in 5th as the championship drivers and where they run, where they came in. Again, Maconi 1 point south of the cut line. Steven Shariq 3 points south of the cut line. Roger DeBold, though, it would appear as though that 13-point gap, 14-point gap clear ahead is going to be able to keep him in the top 4 going into the next race at the Nashville Superspeedway.
Yeah, it is at that. And, this is something we've seen all playoffs long. It's been the same 4 guys at the front of the field all playoff long. Steven Shariq has really turned the wick up here in the closing parts of the season. Greg Maconi made the playoffs after coming in late, still was able to qualify for the playoffs. Ryan Truex strong every time we've come out. Thomas Aaron has won a couple of races and stolen them from Tyler Truex. So a little bit of vengeance looking to be had from the 56 over the 93. As the green flag comes back out, Maconi wastes absolutely no time going up and throwing the block on Ryan Truex.
And Maconi, again, for the first time since the start of this race, on 4 fresh tires now in the lead here. We know he can win, winner at Kansas in these cars earlier this season. Also the winner at the iRacing Superspeedway in the last round of the playoffs in these Xfinity cars. So this car has really suited him this season. Now has a chance with the position to show what he can do up at the front.
Yeah, it absolutely can. He actually has a little bit of heat in his tires now. Everybody else still kind of dealing with cold tires. And, you can see the slight advantage that Maconi has currently, as, he's currently sitting plus 15, Shariq currently sitting plus 16. That is your, bookending your top 4 right there, as Ryan Truex and Thomas Aaron currently running where they qualified.
Ryan Truex, it's the first time he's actually been in quote-unquote traffic here tonight. Roger DeBold still just off the back of the group, working with Tommy Allen Jr. side by side a little bit further back. Scott Formosa trying to get around J.D. Woodward. That's Anthony Burleyson trying to get around Vince Burns. And Burleyson will make the move on entry, can't complete it on exit. Another reason why this track is so hard to pass, as Ryan Truex goes to the inside looking for his race lead back.
Truex has led the vast majority of this event tonight, wants to lead some more, as all-important bonus point for Maconi. Having the lead on that restart, did get credited with leading at least 1 lap tonight. So, any point you can take from Ryan, they're trying to do here tonight at the Tricky Triangle. but McConey skating through one, almost getting into the wall, going down the Long Pond straightaway.
Thomas Aaron not quite clear of that number 12. Ryan Truex back in the race lead, and part of that is you can hang on the outside line in turn one, but you cannot stray too far up the racetrack going through the center of the corner, and McConey was almost up in the far high lane, which is why he loses those 2 spots there.
You definitely do not want to put the right side tires into the marbles, because all that's going to do is make it like driving on glass for about 2 laps. And you cannot afford to give up that kind of position here at Pocono, as battle just outside the top 10, as Burleyson, Lachinsky, and Walton going after each other right now.
Battle for the lead here is Thomas Aaron. This is the best chance he's had in quite a number of laps. Steven Shariq trying to get around on the inside of Greg Maconi as well. Tyler Truex giving him a little bit of a push. Ryan Zunk there as well, another playoff driver looking to capitalize.
Throw a blanket over 3rd through 8th right now, as they are trying to figure this one out.
Tyler Truex jumping to the outside of Steven Shariq after trying to push him past the 12. Out of turn 1, couldn't quite do that, so Truex will take to the outside, and he will, at least for the moment, make the pass as Shariq left with little to no drafting help right now. Shariq gets in line in front of Ryan Zunk, very, very close between the lot of them.
Another coat of paint, they would have been in deep trouble, as here comes the 80 of Formosa to the inside of Zunk down the Long Pond straightaway as Truex bails it down to the bottom, trying to work his way around Maconi as they are side by side coming into the tunnel turn. That's never a good idea.
Made the move stick coming out of turn 1 last time through. Truex a little bit better off of turn 2. He will make the pass stick that time. Maconi down to 4th, not quite over yet as he's battling with Steven Shariq still, as Scott Formosa looking to go up the middle. Thomas Aaron getting a very good run here in the foreground. Aaron side by side with Ryan Truex for the first time tonight.
Aaron looking to send it going into one side by side drag race. The Chevy of Aaron on the low side, the Toyota Truex on the top side, and Truex sends it and then slams the door in Aaron's face, saying, yeah, you're going to have to try a little harder than that, bud, and you're going to need to bring friends.
Speaking of bringing friends, Tyler Truex on his way to help assist, as here comes Thomas Aaron once again down Long Pond into the tunnel turn. Not quite close enough, but Truex certainly with something to think about. Ryan, that would be.
Aaron is giving Truex all he can handle right now, and this is something that we normally see on the road courses. Is there you go. Ryan knows that Aaron is pushing hard, going to let him go, going to try to conserve the right side tires on that Toyota as long as he can, and knows that he's got his cousin there for help right on his back bumper. But, you know, Aaron and Truex, let's go back to COTA when they had a meeting of the minds on the final lap. And, you know, there's a receipt still coming for that one.
Thomas Aaron finished 5th last week. Compare that to Ryan Truex finishing 12th in the final truck race of the season at Charlotte. Greg Maconi and Justin Clapper battling side by side. Maconi just has not yet figured this racetrack out, as Ryan Zunk has a big moment coming out of turn 2.
He did. Definitely had to chase it down the hill coming through the short chute. But, you know, you're absolutely right about Maconi not really hitting his stride here tonight with this setup track condition combination, not having a good time of it at all in that Maconi's crafting number 12. But, you know, it's kind of the battle of the craft stores right now, Frank, is, you know, you got Maconi representing his wife Sydney's store, and you've got Justin representing his mom's store, Eagle'sWood Creations, who's sponsoring tonight's event. I mean, this is fun when you get these little, and it's not just a Ford and Chevy thing, you know, it's a New Jersey, Michigan thing. there's a whole lot of different stories just between those two cars. Hey, McCrary.
McCrary saw a run coming out of turn 2, tried to take it. Clapper closed the door on him. Took the push, and if there is an Eagle'sWood Creations paint scheme on that car, I'm sorry, I can't tell you how many times I refreshed Trading Paints prior to this race, and it insists on showing that paint scheme that he ran back at Kansas earlier this season. I'm not sure why.
There's an Eagle'sWood logo on it.
Okay, I've tried 1.5 million times to reset.
It is a black and orange car.
Yeah,
it is the black and orange car tonight.
I've tried 1.5 million times to reset Trading Paints, and it still just insists on showing that paint scheme. The same as it insists on showing J.D. Woodward's Star Wars car. I haven't been able to get that off the thing since.
Yeah, no, he's in the Star-Spangled Chevy car tonight.
Well, I have a Star-Spangled Star Wars car for me. As McConi and McCrary battle side by side. McConi was rather upset with the teammate to this 88 of Scott Formosa after last week's race. So I think a lot of people were upset with the 80 after last week. Seemed to be a little bit aggressive as Robert Walton battling side by side with the 79, but for all that aggression, you can't say it didn't work out for him as Formosa gets his first win of the season at Charlotte last week, just ahead of Anthony Burleyson, who got his best finish of the season last year, this season second.
That would have been a completely different story had Burleyson not thrown the block on Clapper going into one on the green-white checker restart. The only reason that Formosa was able to get there was because Justin Clapper had the fresh tires. Burleyson had fresher tires, Formosa had fresher tires than Burleyson, and Clapper had the run going into one, but Burleyson went down through the block on his teammate, and that jammed everybody up.
Pit strategy, a lot of battling, and a big-time Taco Bell close-up there going through turn 1 as Tyler Truex trying to hold on to that third position with Steven Shariq. As Shariq gets the run coming out of the corner, jumps up in front of Tyler Truex, jumps up into the top 3, but as things have settled down from the restart of the stage, Thomas Aaron, for the first time tonight, currently holds and is building a lead over Ryan Truex, just shy of a full second off ahead of that 56. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You are watching the Eagle'sWood Creations 235 from Pocono Raceway. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, are you tired of your dog dragging in mud into your house? You got water laying in your yard? There's going to be a lot more water laying this spring. Now's the time to give us a call here at the office at 410-721-2342, and we'll be glad to take care of all your outdoor drainage needs.
Oh, you are not, you're not alone, no. Oh, you are not, you're not alone. You are not, you're not alone.
Thanks again, guys, for coming out for demo day here at Chaladon and just going over hip start and how it's going to improve your swing. Hip start is really a key factor in getting that proper downswing. The beauty of hip start is you can change your swing in less than an hour. Just put hip start on and you're going to notice a difference right away.
So before I was introduced to the hip start, my shots were kind of all over the place. Using the hip start, I definitely noticed more consistency and getting that great tactile feedback, knowing when the proper moment to snap your hits has really helped with getting my shot a lot more consistent. And I just feel more confident whenever I go out to the golf course with my friends.
Before you even grab a club out of your bag, we're using hip start to warm up. Put it on and get that feel and just fire the hips. Make sure that hip's turning and make sure the hip's firing through with hip start.
I'm able to hit the ball a lot straighter and a lot farther, and more importantly, consistently hit the ball. What I've seen today, I personally live by and swear by the hip start.
Clappers around.
Welcome back live, and just as we come back, Justin Clapper sits sideways in turn number 3. Saw the great battle he was just having there between himself, Tyler Chalk, and Mark McCrary. And unfortunately for him, the car does not live long enough to be able to tell the tale. So battling with Steven Liszczynski. It's Maconi to the inside, and then Liszczynski just drives right into the left rear corner. And the 55 of Vince Burns catches him as well.
Burns absolutely nowhere to go in that one. I think Liszczynski was trying to follow Maconi through, and Clapper just threw the block, not realizing that Liszczynski was there.
See this off the back of Clapper. Just, yep, around he went. Gets pushed through. There's Vince Burns. And there is again, I'm sure, a man who is less than entertained with the current scenario that he's found himself in. After the issues of last week, now getting involved in it again, and this was coming right around the time of green flag pit stops. They were getting closer. Everyone last came down on lap 42, except for Greg Maconi, who came in on lap 37. Top guys stay out, so we're seeing the break. 5 guys stay out. Aaron, Truex, Shariq, Zunk, and Chalk. 4 playoff drivers out. The other one's in.
And I'm thinking the guys that just stayed out are praying that we have another flag that which shall not be named, and you know, hopefully not have to go a lap down, because while it is possible to not go a lap down changing 4 in fuel here, you still have to worry about it. As looks like Tyler Truex just took fuel only.
So this would signal that these guys need to come in again, and we were talking about it during the break. All of these guys have a set of tires still on the wall, except for this man right here, Greg Maconi, who has half a set.
He only has lefts left. Yes, you heard me right, folks.
McConaughey took 2 tires during the caution at the stage break. To be fair, so did Roger DeBold. As DeBold fixing more damage, Clapper's certainly fixing damage. But this is going to shuffle this order up as the top 4, again, top 5, pardon me, Thomas Aaron, Ryan Truex, Steven Shariq, Ryan Zunk, and Tyler Chalk are going to be a lot slower than everyone else. However, they will not have to stop again if this race goes green the rest of the way. And everyone else is going to need at least a splash and go.
Well, no, because Aaron, Truex, Shariq, Zunk, and Chalk were last down on lap 42.
Well, no, if the race goes green, they're gonna pit again.
Right.
But
whereas everybody else is right on that ragged edge of you can make it from here territory.
That's asking a lot. That's 33 laps.
Yeah.
On a tank
which they
of
have
fuel here.
They have a full boat of fuel, so it is possible. Is it probable? No, because I don't think we're done seeing that flag which shall not be named.
The yellow flag, the thing that we're under right now.
I was trying to avoid bringing it into fruition.
Just say it. Just say it. Say the caution. Say he's pitching a perfect game. Say he's got a no-hitter going, because odds are it's not going to happen anyway. As Thomas Aaron, Ryan Truex, Steven Shariq, Ryan Zunk, and Tyler Chalk.
This is why, you were stuffed in lockers as a child.
Thank you.
Oh, good grief.
Just say it.
Well, it's about to get interesting, that's for darn sure, as the top 5 on the older tires by about 20 laps. And the freshest set of tires belong currently to Matt Garrett in the 3.
Garrett in the 3, currently running in 7th at the moment. Again, Tyler Truex did not take tires there, just filled up, so he'll be on the same tire strategy as all of these guys, meaning he's expecting to have to pit again.
Well, we're about to find out as the pace car brings him out of turn number 3, makes the hard left turn, as Thomas Aaron going to lead him into the TLC Incorporated Restart Zone. Green flag in the air, and we are back underway as Aaron gets a decent restart. And he's bringing Shariq with him as Truex throws down to the inside, and it throws the block on Shariq.
Top 4 drivers are all playoff contenders at the moment. Thomas Aaron, Ryan Truex, Steven Shariq, and Ryan Zunk. But a lot of guys on fresh tires coming up behind them. They're going to fan out down this back straightaway. McCrary down to the bottom.
McCrary down to the bottom as the 3 of Garrett up on the top side as well. Here comes Formosa looking to help his Speed Kings teammate through the tunnel turn. Still not quite close enough. They are single file in front of these guys. So as McCrary and Garrett start to pick their way through the field, as we got a battle for the lead, Ryan Truex on the inside of Thomas Aaron coming through 3.
Yep, Ryan Truex looking to take that race lead back. Had it for the longest time. Winner of the first 2 stages. Stage 3, however, has not been under his control the way the first 2 have. Greg Maconi led away in the first half of the stage. That's been run thus far. Truex took the lead for about 3 or 4 laps before Thomas Aaron took it. And this is the first time Truex has had the lead since about lap 53.
Maconi having to chase it down the hill coming off of 2. Had to take evasive action on Scott Formosa as here comes Garrett to the inside of Maconi through the tunnel turn.
Everyone's still very close, and those new tires not really making the gains that we would have thought. Again, Tyler Truex on the same set of tires as everyone else in front of him, not behind him. The first guy on new tires right now is the 88 of Mark McCrary, who's just gotten past Tyler Chalk up into 6th.
And, you got to wonder just exactly how damaged is that 88 of McCrary. We've seen it time and time again since the latest damage model has come out on this Xfinity car, as he gives the chrome horn to Truex. McCrary, the car looks like a pug dog right now. You got to think he's going to be suffering from radiator trouble. If we can get an onboard and see what his temperatures are looking like, he might be in trouble before this race is over.
I don't think we can see just that much detail. Is everything getting really close right now? Ryan Zunk trying to defend from Matt Garrett. Look at Greg Maconi trying to make it 3 wide. Garrett really throws it into turn 3. He's going to get the spot for it as everyone jumbles up and stacks up behind him.
Whatever you do, don't hit the boss man, as he was right on the back bumper of Tyler Truex. Garrett, one of the TTR drivers in that Yingling number 3, brings it down the front straightaway. Crap. Frank, I'll be right back because my sim just froze.
There you go. So still battling side by side. Tyler Truex also right in the middle of this. There's Scott Formosa all the way down at the bottom. 47 of J.D. Woodward back up in this battle here for the first time really since the opening salvo of this race. Sticks the nose in under the 89 of Tyler Truex. Woodward, it's the highest he's been here all race since the end of the first stage. As this top 5 now have broken away. About 3/4 of a second, Ryan Zunk hard into the outside wall. Has to save it all the way down to the inside. And again, for Ryan Zunk, that is a big, big problem as far as the point standings are concerned. As that 23, again, was on the outside looking in. As a matter of fact, he was the outest of the outside. Thomas Aaron battling side by side with Matt Garrett. Fresh tires starting to take effect for that number 3 right now. Greg Maconi also working his way up as well. Maconi up into third, pardon me. Side by side for the race lead. Matt Garrett on the outside of Ryan Truex. Matt Garrett will emerge from turn number 3 with the race lead. Greg Maconi coming in second. Both of those drivers with the fresher tires able to make the move on the outside of Ryan Truex. 47 with fresh tires coming up through the field. The 80 with fresh tires coming up through the field. Those tires have gotten up to temperature, and now they're starting to make moves. J.D. Woodward stuck in a holding pattern at the moment. Thomas Aaron trying to defend the 4th position again, but these guys are not in the worst of spots. Sure, they're slow now, but the expectation is that everyone is going to have to come in at least one more time. Ryan Truex goes way down to the bottom.
Trying to break whatever draft that J.D. Woodward has on him going into one. That's going to open the door
for
Aaron. Boy.
Contact shoots the 47 up the hill. Truex pinches the 47 into the wall down the Long Pond straightaway.
Formosa got pinched up there as well, as too wide through the tunnel turn. Never a good idea.
Boy, and very close to Woodward. Very close to the back end of that 56.
I'm white-knuckled, and I'm not even on track with these guys.
Who else is coming up here through the field? For the first time tonight, we're seeing him in the top 5. Robert Walton to the outside, the 83 of Steven Shariq, the first one to bail and head down pit road.
This will be the money stop for Shariq, and he does have 4 Mr. Feelgoods left on the wall, as Woodward finally wrestles the spot away from Truex, and now Robert Walton looking to get by his TTR teammate.
Good news is for J.D. Woodward, He's gotten around Ryan Truex. The bad news is that battling with Truex has cost him nearly 3 seconds up to the race lead between Matt Garrett and Greg Maconi. Maconi in a very good spot right now where he is. He can save a little bit of fuel by drafting off of that 3. He's also the highest running of the playoff drivers right now as Scott Formosa looks to the inside of Thomas Aaron and takes over that 6th spot.
Truex about to lose 4th. Ju Walton is there side by side coming down the front chute here. Walton with the advantage going into 1, nose out in front. And Truex lets him go, and that's going to open the door for Formosa to the inside.
That's what these older tires have done for these guys. However, the race will turn around and go back the other way. The drivers who are quick now are going to be slow and are going to get passed up big time by the drivers who are losing time right now. Truex, Aaron, both Truexes. As there's Tyler Truex still battling with Tyler Chalk. Instead of being for 3rd, this is now for 10th and 11th. Formosa looks to the inside of Walton and takes the spot side by side between McCrary and Thomas Aaron now.
Aaron on the older tires, McCrary on the newer set, as we are working lap 73 of 94 here tonight. I want to thank everybody for joining us in the live chat. If you haven't done so already, give this video a thumbs up. It really does help share these videos with the YouTube algorithm. The more thumbs up a video gets, the more likely it is to be shared on someone's YouTube homepage when they log in.
Ryan Truex really took it down low, down Long Pond straightaway out of turn 1. Wasn't chasing the car. That was by design that he went that low. Still has Thomas Aaron right behind him. Aaron has not let that 56 go here at all in this 3rd stage. Matt Garrett currently leads away from Greg Maconi. Is that 3 of Garrett and Maconi have opened up a 3-second lead over J.D. Woodward. Woodward has jumped out to a 1.5 seconds over the group behind him right now. Scott Formosa, Robert Walton, Mark McCrary, all of the drivers currently running in the top 8 were in the playoffs at one time or another. Woodward out after the round of 12. Formosa out after the round of 12. Walton out of the round of 16. Garrett out at the round of 16 as well. Roger DeBold.
Don't mind me, Frank. I'm just handling a situation.
Roger DeBold has come down pit road. DeBold right now 16 minutes in pit road, enough to have had Greg Vielle pass him. So DeBold at this point, unless a big accident happens within the next couple of laps or so, DeBold will be the lowest finishing playoff driver here today. Chase
Not
Lake
in the situation he was looking to be in coming into tonight.
Absolutely not. Chase Leahy did not start. Cole Gajdorus done after 35 circulations and a hard hit at the turn 3 wall. Had the 2 stage cautions tonight. We've also had just 2 cautions for incident. One coming out of turn 1 between Greg Vielle and Roger DeBold. The other one in turn 3 involving Steven Luschinski and Justin Clapper. And that has been it as far as cautions have gone.
Maconi taking a little bit of a different line through turn 3 that time than was Matt Garrett, and kind of opened up a little bit of a gap for Garrett.
Coney's been in that middle line. Thomas Aaron coming down pit road.
I think he sent it too late. I really think Aaron waited too long. With only 18 to go, I don't think he's got enough time to reel this one back in unless we get another caution.
Again, the assumption would be stops are coming for the drivers that came into pit on lap 61. 34 laps of fuel is a lot to ask, and as well as how quickly these tires wear down around here on this car. 34 laps around here is a very tall order. Aaron, Chalk, and Zunk came in. The only one of the drivers that has not come in yet that stayed out under the caution. As the caution comes out now, it's Greg Vielle. Or it was Greg Vielle. And that could not have come out at a worse time for the guys in the pits. Or did they get out ahead? No, they all got out just ahead.
Oh, yeah, some of them did. And this just in, Mark McCrary just had a throughput in the 88.
That's another one for championship implications. So Aaron, Chalk, and Zunk, about as lucky boys can get, getting out just ahead of Greg Maconi. We'll see what happened. This is with Greg Vielle. Vielle had already lost it and stops coming out of turn 2, and being that close to the racing surface, it triggers the caution. So let's see what happened prior to that. Oh, Vielle blew up.
Hand grenaded the engine coming down the Long Pond straightaway. So, yeah, that's...
He really didn't have too much of a choice there. I mean, if he could have pulled off, like right where the grass ends in the middle of the tunnel turn, that might have been far enough off to have kept the caution from coming out there. But either way, there's a heartbreaker, especially for the 12 and the 3 who were so far ahead. And honestly, not all that lucky a break for Ryan Truex, because he had not come into pit yet. So he's going to have to start in the middle of the field. Compare that to Thomas Aaron, Tyler Chalk, and Ryan Zunk, who are all going to start at the front.
Well, this is definitely going to shake things up and make it interesting, as we should be seeing pit road open this time by.
Steven Shariq will be the leader here in just a moment when all these guys come in. Greg Maconi thought he might stay out. J.D. Woodward does stay out. So does Scott Formosa. Robert Walton stays out as well. So Matt Garrett, Greg Maconi, Ryan Truex. You knew Truex was coming in.
Yep.
Tyler Truex in as well. Again, another one you knew was coming in. And we'll see how this all works coming out of the lane. Garrett down and away. Fuel only for Garrett. Leszczynski and Maconi rolling. The Truexes will jump Maconi.
And Frank, I just saw both sides of Maconi's car go up.
So maybe he didn't take tires. Maybe he took fuel only under that
fuel
first
only
stage
damage
caution.
repair.
Well, under the first stage.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Fuel only and a little bit of damage repair.
That might have
But
been
yeah,
it.
I just saw both sides of his car go up. So Katie barred the door.
So he
Because
had
Woodward Woodward, Formosa, Walton, Burleson, and Burns, your top 5 all stayed out. They were all last down pit road on lap 61, as we are currently working lap 80. And they're getting to the point of, if they saved enough under this caution, if we get to the natural finish of this race on lap 94, they should be able to make it.
Right, but at that point, you may as well come into pit because everyone else on fresh tires will have passed you up at that point.
Well, I mean, we saw 20 laps. Wasn't that big of a difference.
You're seeing on screen right now the graphic of when the top 10 last came into pit. Lap 61 for the top 5. Steven Shariq, who we saw come in on lap 70. Aaron, Zunk, and Chalk, who came in just prior to the caution coming out, and then everyone else who came into pit under that caution. So there's a lot that has gone on. Mark McCrary back out onto the racetrack from his throughput. He's going to be 3 laps down, so the best he can do right now is 17th, right where he's at. So it's up to Scott Formosa to fly the banner for Speed Kings, who is in the exact opposite situation that he was in from Charlotte last week.
Yeah, he's going to be starting the outside of the front row with J.D. Woodward having control of the field.
And with older tires.
So, this is definitely going to be an interesting situation, especially for all of your top 5 right now. Because everybody else is 17 to 18 lap newer tires.
This is why we don't drive too out of control, because you never know when it's going to turn around on you. And at least for Formosa, it turned around immediately. Looking at the chat, Chris Land, I had mentioned it during the race. We need to update JD's paint scheme. I've updated trading paints about 500,000 times before this race, and it insists on showing the Star Wars scheme. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but that's the paint scheme it insists on showing me. As the green flag comes out, 13 laps to go here at Pocono.
As Woodward pulled the trigger as the field worked its way through the TLC restart zone. Woodward in control of this one, bringing Robert Walton with him as Formosa caught on that outside lane, and they're almost 3 wide behind him. Now they are 3 wide.
Boy, Matt Garrett getting awfully close to Ryan Truex on the outside. We're 4 wide down the back straightaway as Thomas Aaron side-by-side contact. That sends the 83 around. Steven Shariq, they're wrecking behind. Almost the entire field involved in that one. Caution is out.
Holy cow.
Steven Shariq, Matt Garrett, Ryan Zunk, Ryan Truex, Steven Lischinski, the 55 of Vince Burns. Boy, that one got crazy. Tyler Chalk involved as well. And we'll see right now what happened. Started coming out of turn 1. See everyone just filing through. They're 4 wide. Boy, that's a hard hit. Zunk with a hard hit.
Frank, I think you need to get to the chopper.
Yeah, we'll definitely. It's on board of Ryan Zunk, or we thought was on board of Ryan Zunk. Now we are. Oof.
Burleyson catching a huge piece of that one as well.
Championship implications there. From above. Boy, the 93 just got a little bit too close to the 55, and that's what triggered it.
Yep.
Anthony Burleson, a hard hit. Go on board this with Tyler Chalk. He's already letting off, but by that point, he's too close to the action. Go again from on board Steven Shariq. Hit there, jumps right up into Burleyson, and from there.
And they just put that accident on the 93, saying that unfortunately it was his fault, so he's going to be going to the tail end on the restart. But that's little solace right now for Steven Shariq, as there's no way that car is making it to the finish right now.
See how hard Ryan Truex caught this. Again, he's right in the middle of it, appears to have a lane, and then gets body checked into the wall. Body checks Tyler as well. I think that's going to be enough to put an end to his night, unfortunately. Well, not an end to his night as he's done racing, but as far as a win goes, that might be all she wrote. The 12 of Maconi sensed something happening as he let off just before that all happened. And unless he got hit from behind, he actually makes it through this.
I didn't see anything weird happen on his car, but you can see just how heavily damaged Tyler Truex is. Yep. Ryan, I'm sorry.
It's off the back of Maconi. Yeah, he got a punt from the back from Clapper, but other than that, kept it straight and all good from there.
Well, now he's got matching corners on the back of that Ford Mustang.
And that's what you were talking about. You saw the back end of Ryan Truex's car there. So a vast majority of that field involved in some way, shape, or form. That will retire Greg Vielle. Greg Vielle is done. Unfortunately for Roger DeBold, who's been in pit road for a half hour now, there is not enough laps in the race left for him to take that 18th spot away from Vielle, so he's going to finish 19th no matter what, whether he gets the car rolling or not.
And unfortunately, with as heavy as... I don't know if Steven Shariq's engine is going to last the rest of this race, because he was smoking quite heavily.
Yeah, he's got a lot of damage there. There's Thomas Aaron. The only two playoff drivers that I'm seeing without damage, really, without any sort of serious damage.
Okay, so
Greg
Shariq
Maconi
just
and
announced.
Thomas Aaron.
Shariq just announced to the field that he's going to be immediately pulling down to the apron when the green does come back out, because that car is barely running.
I mean, at that point, just pull it off into pit road and just try to repair it.
Yeah, you kind of have to at that point.
So Thomas Aaron's really scot-free at the moment. Not a lot of damage on his car, if any at all. Greg Maconi's rear end damage. Other than that, all of the playoff cars have damage in some way, shape, or form. So the odds are once again with the non-playoff drivers keeping someone from locking themselves into the championship four.
Well, that's what they're hoping to do right now. As we're about to find out, as the pace car peels off and Woodward brings us into the TLC restart zone once more time, as we already see cars fanning out to try to get out of the way.
Steven Shariq.
We're already three wide.
Yep, Steven Shariq trying to pull off. Truex down the back as well. Yeah, Truex is way underpowered as J.D. Woodward keeps the race lead. Robert Walton and Scott Formosa battle away for second. Justin Clapper running in fourth. Tommy Allen Jr., the highest he's been, running in 5th, side by side with Vince Burns.
This is kind of a inverse of what we saw last week between Clapper and Formosa. I can't help but think that maybe there's a receipt coming.
Thomas Aaron.
Oy.
3 wide with Tommy Allen Jr. and with the 55 of Vince Burns. Allen has the best car right now. 1, he's got the cleanest, and 2, he's got the freshest tires. Greg Maconi's right up there as well, but he does have some rear end damage. About 7 lap fresher tires than Aaron, but there's not 7 laps of hard running on him.
Correct, but right now Woodward starting to pull a little bit of a gap on the 66 of Walton. Formosa trying to stay up there as well, as a little bit of bump drafting coming down the Long Pond straightaways. Thomas Aaron getting pushed along by Tommy Allen.
Tommy Allen might have also been getting pushed along by Greg Maconi. Formosa runs high. Thomas Aaron swings to the bottom, goes 3 wide going into turn 3. Clapper in the middle, Formosa on the outside. Formosa backs out of it. Clapper does not.
Formosa wisely jumping on the binders. Here comes the 24 of Tommy Allen to the inside, 3 wide down the front chute as
Maconi knows his best chance at a good finish is behind that 93, and that's who he's pushing. Down the middle, Maconi up into 4th, Aaron into 3rd, Tommy Allen Jr. up into 5th.
Maconi right now the only, Maconi and Aaron, the only 2 championship contenders running in the top 10 right now.
Speaking of Tommy Allen Jr., winner of the opening race of the season at Daytona. Beyond that, his best finish of the season, 4th at Talladega, a non-super speedway race where he got a good finish, 6th at Bristol Dirt.
Here comes Aaron to the inside of Woodward coming out of 3. Woodward going to go down, try to throw the block on Aaron. A little bit of an Indy snake as Maconi in the slipstream of Woodward. Aaron, though, with a good head of steam and is going to wrestle the lead away from Woodward. That's going to open the door for Maconi to get up into 2nd.
Yep, the two playoff drivers that we mentioned with the least amount of damage and the freshest tires right now running 1 and 2. Thomas Aaron, even after getting the black flag for causing that last incident, now back up into the race lead with 6 laps to go.
6 laps to go as they come through the tunnel turn. Maconi, Aaron, Woodward, Allen, Walton, Clapper, Burns, Formosa, Garrett, and Burleson rounding out your top 10 as we currently sit. Tommy Allen and Justin Clapper going after each other as here comes Vince Burns to the inside.
Tommy Allen Jr., again, looking for his first podium finish since the opening round at Daytona. J.D. Woodward currently running in that 4th spot. Woodward comes in 10th in points, 2nd as far as the best of the rest standings are concerned. Finished 2nd back at Rockingham to begin the playoffs, 3rd at Kansas in that incredible race at Kansas.
Burns and Formosa go door to door going into the tunnel turn. Not the most advantageous thing you want to be doing, especially this late in a race. As here comes Truex.
Very advantageous for Tyler Truex. As Tyler looks to the inside of the 55 of Burns. Burns will lose the spot in a rather dignified manner. Robert Walton currently running in 6th. Justin Clapper looking to get past J.D. Woodward for 4th.
Clapper has Woodward in his sights. Still a little ways off of Tommy Allen Jr. right now, though. But 4 to go. Thomas Aaron shows the way. Greg Maconi starting to fade just a little bit.
And
this field very strung out right now, Frank.
Yeah, with what we've seen out of Greg Maconi today, I don't think even with the couple lap advantage as far as tires are concerned, he hasn't shown the pace today that Thomas Aaron has to be able to pull this off as we come out of turn 3, 3 laps to go.
No, but he does have the bonus points for stage 1. And if he can hang on for second here tonight, that's definitely going to vault him into where he needs to be going into next week at Nashville for the final race of the round of 8. And just needs him and Thomas Aaron are both just going to need a strong finish. Well, Aaron is going to punch his ticket if he hangs on for the win tonight, but McConey was just going to need a strong finish next week to be able to make it to the championship round of 4 at Texas.
McConey came in just 1 point out from beyond the cutoff line. Scott Formosa battling with Robert Walton in the 66. Again, this would be for 6th position. Formosa took the clinching win away last week in his first win of the season, again coming just a week too late in the final truck race of the season. Now trying to avoid being passed by Tyler Truex for 7th here in the final Xfinity race of the season.
2 to go, popsicle sticks in the air. Formosa playing duck and peek around Robert Walton's rearview mirror as here comes Vince Burns back on Tyler Truex. Tyler a couple laps down still, so not really racing for position, just racing for pride right now, as McConey has reeled in Aaron just a little bit, as that battle between Woodward and Clapper still hot and heavy for 4th place, as Clapper looking to the inside. Meanwhile, up in the front, Thomas Aaron coming out of turn number 3 can see the white flag in the air, the Eagle'sWood white flag lap. And Frank, in about 200 yards, we are definitely going to have it. We are racing back to checkers. White flag in the air.
White flag in the air, presented by Eagle'sWood Creations. Final lap has begun. Thomas Aaron just ahead of Greg Maconi. Maconi about a half a tenth faster that last lap. He's going to need a big mistake from Thomas Aaron right now if he wants to take this win. Tommy Allen Jr. secure in 3rd. He's 2.5 seconds behind Maconi, but 2.5 seconds ahead of Justin Clapper, who's just taken over that 4th position, still battling with J.D. Woodward. A little bit of contact going into the tunnel turn, but Clapper able to keep it under wraps. Thomas Aaron coming through turns 3 and 4. Turn 3, pardon me. Here he comes. Thomas Aaron comes out of turn number 3. He will win here at Pocono, the winner of the Eagle'sWood Creations 235. Thomas Aaron punches his ticket to the championship 4.
Greg Maconi, Tommy Allen Jr., Justin Clapper, and J.D. Woodward rounding out your top 5, with Robert Walton, Vince Burns, Scott Formosa, Matt Garrett, and Anthony Burleson rounding out your top 10. But what a finish we just saw, Frank.
Absolutely. What a race, and that late caution really changed the complexion of this race and how it ended. Thomas Aaron picking up his 3rd win of the season. Door-to-door contact with Justin Clapper as the congratulations begins.
As teammates do.
Yes, as the congratulations begin between the two. As you had mentioned before, winner in his first truck race at Circuit of the Americas way back on the 27th of April, winner on the 17th of August at Indianapolis in the Cup car, his 2nd win of the year. And for the 5th time in the last 7 races, a podium finish for the 93 of Thomas Aaron. And again, this one locking him in to the championship 4. Tony, you are with our race winner right now.
Thomas Aaron punching your ticket into the championship round of 4 at Texas. How much of a relief is this right now, not having to go into Nashville Superspeedway next week?
it's a huge relief because I have an exam on Thursday, and I'd rather take the time to study.
Well, there you go. But again, Thomas, congratulations. You had one of the cars to beat all night long. Talk us through that issue that brought out the final caution.
Yeah, that was, in retrospect, it was my bad. And at the time, I didn't think it was my fault. I thought the 56 came down, but clearly I was the one that came up. And yeah, it's just, I made a mistake. And I try not to make those type of mistakes. But I mean, I guess from time to time they'll happen. And unfortunately, I guess fortunately for me, it was it led me to winning the race, and I don't usually like winning them. The 56 was the class of the field, and I wanted to race him in the 83 straight up.
Well, I mean, it kind of fell your way this time, as you guys put on an amazing show here tonight at the Tricky Triangle. We were wondering in just how badly the tires were wearing. We saw about a 2-second fall off. Was that something you could really feel after about 15 laps?
Oh, yeah. The tire fall off was ridiculous. I really wasn't paying attention to lap times too much, but you just couldn't have the grip that you would on the restarts. And honestly, on the restarts, you had too much grip. The car was really, really loose, and then it would tighten up over the run. And yeah, tires were everything. And we pitted at the right time, right when we pitted under that green flag stop. The caution came out. That was another thing that fell our way, and then the restart fell our way. We just got really lucky today, and we had the speed on top of that to capitalize.
All right. Well, again, Thomas, congratulations on punching your ticket into the championship round of 4 at Texas. Safe to assume you're probably not going to be here next week with us at Nashville, so talk us into your thoughts going into that championship round race in 2 weeks at Texas.
Well, it's my home track, and we're racing the Legacy version, so I'm really excited. Yeah, even better. Like that track is just so good. I've raced on that surface since I started sim racing way back in 2008. So I have a lot of experience on that surface, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. We'll see what happens. The 56 is going to be fast. I'm sure he'll get. I'm sure he'll get in next week. I don't know where the points are going to fall, but yeah, he'll definitely be my probably biggest competition. I'm really worried about him at Texas, but I think it's going to be fun regardless.
All right, Thomas, who do you need to thank before we let you go to Eagle'sWood Victory Lane tonight to celebrate this win?
I think he needs to thank his team owner. I just want to pop in real quick and say that, Thomas, I'm super proud of you, man. Congratulations. You kept your composure. You did exactly what you needed to do. And as the commissioner of ThunderClap Stock Car Racing Series, I want to welcome you to the final championship 4, man. Congratulations.
Really appreciate that, Justin. We met each other when we worked at Champion, and it's a pleasure to race in this series. And I guess with that said, I gotta thank my brother, my parents. They're actually in the living room watching right now, so I'm sure they're pumped. I can't wait to see them. So yeah, like we're racing for a championship.
All right, Thomas Aaron, best of luck to you in 2 weeks at Texas.
Appreciate it, guys.
And Frank, I believe you've got the man that came up just a second short on tonight with you now.
Yes, I do. Greg Maconi. Greg, you were right in the middle of that last incident. Only got a little bit of a punt there from the 63. Other than that, came out clean. What were your thoughts after getting through that as far as your chances of winning the race?
I knew I was in a great spot. I thought I had a great shot at it. I had taken a set of tires right before when that yellow before came out. I had a set of yellows because I stayed out, or I didn't take them at the end of the first stage. So that left me an extra set for that last run, and it paid out for me, and kind of got hung up behind Burleyson on that restart. I did all I could to get underneath them, but Garrett and Tom Aaron got the better of me there, and then I was able to fight my way back. I'll take a P2 finish. That was so much fun.
Now, you looked like you were struggling to try to find a line that was going to work for you. here tonight. How difficult was it getting around this racetrack in this car?
It was tough, especially as these tires wore out. For me, especially that first run, since I didn't pit and take tires at the end of the first stage, I just took fuel. It really kind of screwed the car up for me. And then I just kept getting caught on the high side going into one, and the bump right in that first third of turn one just shoots the car up the track. So that's where I was just getting killed. But then after that, I kind of started to find a line at the start of stage two. And then it started coming to me a little bit, got a little bit of damage from Justin earlier on. And that kind of screwed my car up, but I was able to fix it with the yellow that came out in the middle of the third stage. Got a little bit more later on, but no, the car felt good. Just it felt like it was lacking grip. The whole thing just wanted to slide out from under you all night long.
Now we head to the final race before the championship race next week in the Cup cars at the Nashville Superspeedway with a second place finish. You came in 1 point below the cut line. You are now most certainly in the championship four. How does that help you going into next week, knowing that you have to play defense rather than have to attack?
It helps. It certainly takes a little bit of the weight off. I mean, I'm by no means in a safe position. There's still a lot that you have. And like you saw tonight, DeBold getting caught in that wreck in stage one or stage two really kind of threw a wrench in his plans. I mean, he was 13 up on McCrary. I think he finished like 16th or 15th tonight to DeBold. No, I'm sorry. He probably finished like 18th. So he didn't get a ton of points. So he's in a tough spot. I'm not locked in. That battle for fourth place is going to be hot and heavy all next week.
Absolutely. Anyone else you want to thank before we let you go?
I got to thank our primary sponsor of the race tonight, Eagle'sWood Creations. Check them out on Facebook and their website, Eagle'sWoodsCreation.com. I especially got to thank Maconi Crafting and Design, which is my wife's company. You can find them on Facebook at Maconi Crafting and Design, or you can find them online at their webpage, MaconiCraftingDesign.etsy.com. So shout out to her for being the sponsor on the car tonight. I love that I get to put this thing up front. Had a great race, got to put it in second place. So I definitely want to shout out her, shout out the family that I know is watching. It's a pleasure. I got to shout you guys out every week. You do such a great job. I love going back and watching it. Yeah, I think that's all I got to shout tonight. Thanks. I got to thank Clapper and those guys too. He does a heck of a job with this league. Him and Justin White and all those guys, they do a great job. So I'll take a second place finish. Good points run. Now we just got to survive Nashville next week.
And remember, when choosing between Maconi and Eagle'sWood, pick both, not one or the other. Your second place finisher tonight, Greg Maconi. Bud, congratulations.
Thanks, Frank. See you guys later.
Yep, and that will leave Tony with our third place finisher tonight, Tommy Allen Jr.
Tommy, all things considered, can't be too disappointed at a podium finish here tonight. Coming up, you actually got the biggest mover award, sitting plus 16 after not getting the qualifying attempt you were hoping for.
Yeah, I was a beneficiary of a lot of unfortunate events for some people, and kind of just all the cards just fell my way, and everybody pretty much, that last wreck kind of sealed the deal, and I had the fresh tires there at the end, and I knew I could go hard for a couple laps, and after that I was completely junk, so I'm very lucky with how things turned out tonight.
Well, you were able to get a good getaway and get enough of a lead over Clapper and Woodward as they were just slugging it out in the closing laps there. But, Tommy, they say that it's difficult to pass here, especially with the latest aero package. Where were you able to make your moves tonight?
Definitely trying to get a run off turn one, backing up the corner, and then trying to just any run out of either one or coming out of turn four and trying to get a run on the straightaways. That was really the only way I could really get around people. And I wasn't really passing too many people tonight unless they were completely wrecked. So,
well, you kept the car for the most part out of trouble. You were able to be there when the checkers flew. So, like I always say, you might not have the fastest horse in the barn, but that thing's going to still be chugging away when the workday is over with.
Yeah, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, right?
Absolutely. But next week we go into the Nashville Super Speedway. What are your thoughts going into that completely different track compared to what we raced on tonight?
I actually raced a truck race there last night in another league that I run, so I'm feeling pretty comfortable. And next gen car, I think it's a pretty strong suit for me. So I think it should be a good week. Practice with my teammates, and we'll get the line down, and should be a good week.
All right, Tommy Allen Jr., congratulations on a podium here tonight in the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania. Who do you need to thank before we let you go celebrate the podium with your team?
Definitely want to thank my teammate Matt Garrett for he had an open practice session before we started, so we got to practice the lines, and my other teammates, Tyler Truex, Robbie Walton, Greg Maconi, just all of them collectively helped me become a better driver overall. So got to stick it to them. Well, and clapping them for putting on a great league, obviously.
Absolutely, and you definitely proved tonight that you were. This is going to sound weird, being as stacked as your team is. You were the highest running TTR car here tonight by quite a bit.
Yeah, you don't hear that every night, do you?
Hey, I'll take them how you can get them, my friend.
Yep.
But we will see you next week at Nashville. Best of luck to you then.
Yep, you too. Have a good one, guys.
And Frank, that officially puts another one in the books for us.
That it does, and to think we've only got two more to put in the books here.
Where's the season gone?
Exactly. I mean, we were thinking that this season was going to take forever. We had a 16 race regular season. Now we're getting out of week 8 of the playoffs. It feels like it's gone by in the snap of a finger.
Oh, yeah.
But this was the final race of the Xfinity series in the Xfinity cars. The next two races, as we had mentioned last week, next week at Nashville Super Speedway, and the week after that in the championship race at Texas, will be in the Cup cars. It's gonna get wild. It's going to get crazy. And here tonight, we had a great race, even though it was the smallest field of the season. It was still a very good, entertaining race all throughout.
Yeah, I mean that just goes to show that you don't need a 42 car field to put on a good race at a 2.5 mile track like Pocono. I honestly think that the reason we saw such good side-by-side racing and a lot of give and take was the fact that you weren't dealing with 42 type A personalities all in the same server.
Absolutely. And so while we start to look ahead towards next week at the Nashville Super Speedway, we still have to do a couple of housewarming things here to close out today, and that will include taking a look at the final results. Housekeeping is what I meant to say, not housewarming.
There you go.
Thomas Aaron, Greg Maconi, Tommy Allen Jr., the podium finishers. We've just heard from them. Justin Clapper, another strong finish. J.D. Woodward coming home in the top 5. Robert Walton, Vince Burns, Scott Formosa, Matt Garrett, and Anthony Burleyson coming home in the top 10. Only Thomas Aaron and Greg Maconi finished in the top 10 as far as playoff drivers are concerned. That is a huge bump for them going into the next race.
It absolutely is. Ryan Zunk, Stephen Lachinsky, Ryan Truex, and Steven Shariq rounding out your lead lap cars. Tyler Truex coming home 1 lap down in 15th. Mark McCrary, Tyler Chalk, Greg Vial, Roger DeBold, Cole Gajdorus rounding out those who started. Chase Leahy decided to put it on the hauler before the green flag flew, so he should get show-up points, but nothing really noteworthy to speak of there. But, Frank, we got to thank our good friends at TLC and Eagle'sWood's Creations for tonight's action.
Yep, absolutely. Again, thank you again, as you said, to if I say again one more time, the TLC.
Again!
Thank you very much to TLC. And again, tonight to our series sponsor, Eagle'sWood Creations. Again, let Let Eagles.
Well, at least we're falling apart at the end instead of in the middle of a broadcast like Dave and I had last night.
Let Eagle'sWood Creations create the moments. Simple, affordable, and memorable custom engraved items of all kinds, from wood to acrylic to leather and much more. Eagle'sWood Creations is currently showcasing some amazing holiday items such as door hangers, ornaments, and tabletop decor to make all of your friends and family jealous when they see these one-of-a-kind items in your home this holiday season. Eagle'sWood Creations has an unlimited amount of custom options for your custom engraving needs. Visit them again today at Eagle'sWoodCreations.com and on Facebook as well. Coming up here on Sim Racing Media, baseball duty for me again tomorrow, so I will not be broadcasting either race tomorrow night. The Svenska E-Racing League in round number 3 of the GT3 series out at Mount Panorama will come your way at 2 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. Then it will be the Fired Up Esports League, the Keep Your Grip at the Paperclip at Martinsville, a 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time start tomorrow, and then Sim Racer's Edge round number 4 from Watkins Glen, an 8:10 p.m. Eastern Time start coming up on Thursday. The Monsters of Energy New Gen Cup Series will hold round number 7 at Worldwide Tech Raceway. That'll be a 9 p.m. Eastern Time start for them. Nothing this coming Saturday. And then on Sunday will be the ISNF Cup Series and the Sunday Night NASCAR Series. They will both be at Texas Motor Speedway. ISNF starting at 5 p.m. Eastern, sorry. And Sunday Night NASCAR starting at 6:20 p.m. Eastern Time this upcoming Sunday. So for my broadcast partner, Tony Trapasso, I am Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening. We will see you for the playoff finale at Nashville Superspeedway in the Cup Cars next week. We thank you very much for joining. We will see you then. Good night, everybody.